I first discovered Geometry Dash in 2014 when I'd recently turned 14 during its 1.4 update. My older stepsister had it on her iPad, and at the time GD wasn't any more special than the other games on that iPad. I only really played the main Rob Top levels. Updates passed, and by the time 1.6 came I registered for an actual account in the game, not my current one Forlat but a different one. I started to play more user-made levels, focusing on the map packs first. What really blew me away about user levels was the way people could create a new and fun experience with limited blocks and songs. It was a few days before 1.8 came around when I wanted to make a level of my own. I'd fooled around in the editor a little bit, but hadn't created a real level. The mess on screen right now was one of those first attempts, but I was determined to give it my best in this new level. And so after a few weeks came the birth of my first creation, Uneven. It was nothing spectacular, it wasn't even long length, but I was proud of what I did. I started a few more projects later on, never releasing any of them, notably Implicit Demand, a level I've been trying to resurrect from the dead. It was by the time 2.0 came around that my real life was becoming too busy for me to play GD regularly. It was my final year of school, and I had to put all my focus into my studies. So during update 2.0, I left the game. By the time my studies were over and I'd set myself up with a job to keep me busy during my gap year, I installed GD onto my personal phone to play again. But the GD I came back to had changed so much in a single update. All the great ideas, themes and experimentation in the old 1.9 and 2.0 levels had seemed to disappear. I came back to the generic levels era, where levels with minimal effort or uniqueness were appraised by Rob Top. So, during the holiday break before I'd have to work, I did something. First, I created a new account. This one was Forlat. Then, I made a level which included everything I thought was missing in modern levels, which I ended up naming It's Over. I included the narrative, atmosphere, and emotion, decent and consistent gameplay with different and unique designs. I poured hours upon hours into this level. I wanted to be like the creators I looked up to when I started out, and to make a level that would put people through a new and memorable experience. After almost a month of building and pushing myself to create things I'd never dreamt of before, it was completed and released. The initial traffic on the level was extraordinary for an unknown creator with no previous levels and practically zero stats. I had about 300 downloads after one day, and got some really nice comments too. It was such a great experience for me. I had accomplished even more than what I set out to do, so I went back to the editor while I still had holiday time. The next big project I released was Choices, this time focusing on a fun and engaging atmosphere with unique gameplay. This level got a lot of attention too upon its release, gaining 500 downloads in the first few hours. Although I was happy to read people's comments on it, I wanted to see people experience my levels. So I started going on level request live streams. This was a really heartwarming experience, since I got to see in real time the reactions my levels gave. This was also the start of my YouTube channel, as I needed one to comment on the live streams. I didn't take the channel too seriously at first, just uploaded my levels using a friend's computer to record and edit. With live streams as my incentive, I wanted to outdo myself in my next level, to make something better than anything else I'd done. So I started working on Alyssa. This again had everything I wanted to see in levels and more. Narrative, atmosphere and emotion were the key concepts, but I also focused on my use of negative space, on unity and variety, flow, colors and transitions. I put everything into it, and it still stands as my personal favorite. Alyssa got me going places. It was the first level of mine to hit 100 likes. Everyone who live streamed it was giving good feedback, and I had a few mods send it into RobTop in the first week. After releasing such a massive project, I took a creative break. I made a fun little concept level called Unslide, as well as participating in my first MC, which is yet to be released, and made a challenge level. It was at this point that I made the best decision of my GD career. I got Discord. Now you have to understand that prior to getting Discord I had about 10 friends in the game who I knew very little about, and talked to them only on rare occasions. Discord changed my GD life, because for the first time I was actually meeting other people in the game and having interesting conversations. I met these people by joining the public servers of GD creators and YouTubers I liked. Nick Babic, Optical and Diamond Girls servers were the ones I ended up joining first, and I met some really nice people there. One time on Nick's server I shared an image of a level I'd been working on and got a lot of attention. Those who were online at the time started playing my stuff and really enjoyed it. There were 3 people in particular who are to this day my best friends in this game. Amateur, Kiani, and Xenoteric. Xeno in particular really wanted to get Alyssa featured, and at the time I thought I'd be lucky to get a rating. He sent the level to a few mods, and within a few minutes there were more and more famous people commenting on the level. Eventually Sapunj came along and sent it to RobTop. Along with the help of other mods from earlier such as Diamond Girl, Alyssa was featured the very next day. I woke up to several Discord notifications screaming the good news. I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little. I was brought into the Creator Points server that day, and although I wasn't very known by anyone I was happy to have made it. At this point a few things happened at once. I started work doing private tutoring, and as an expense for the job my parents got me a work laptop. On this I was able to make my first proper YouTube content. Inspired by people like C, Floweroni and Stop Start, I wanted to make original and entertaining content, so I did an analysis video on one of my favorite creators, Darabi. It didn't get much attention initially, but I had a feeling things would be like they were in GD and it would get views someday. Although now with a job and less time to create, I was able to fit in some time pretty much every day for building. My next level was going to be another big project, inspired by Nazgoob, Stop Start and some older VHS tapes I found at my dad's place. When moving out, I was going to make a lo-fi tech level. This was the start of Off Frequency. It took over a month to make, but a lot of that time was taken up working. When I released it the level did insanely well. Not only were my best friends helping out again to get a rating, but some new friends I'd made since then helped too. Stop Start and Nerd Yuri were the first to upload recordings of the level other than me, and not long after with no warning, Sapunj uploaded a recording. This really put me on the radar. Serp shouted out my channel, so I was getting comment notifications left, right and center. I stayed up so late that night responding to everything that I used all the data I had left on my phone for the month. And just like Alyssa, I awoke to a big surprise the next morning. Off Frequency was not only given an epic rating, but it got placed as the daily level. On RobTop's birthday too. I went absolutely crazy. I had friend requests and messages in GD coming at a fast, constant pace, and everyone was congratulating me. But the fame isn't what made me so happy that day, not in the slightest. When I started this account I wanted to make levels that give the player a lasting experience, to make levels with an atmosphere and a narrative, and to make them unique. Everyone who commented and messaged me about Off Frequency had that experience. They all got to feel what I felt when I was playing the game. That's what made me so happy. I don't plan on stopping soon. I have a new big project being made that I feel you'll like, alongside some other smaller levels. I also have plenty of video plans for this channel. This is the beginning of something big. And now you're all caught up. I hope you liked this video, and I hope it gave some insight to who I am. If you like this type of content in particular, I'd recommend the playlist on screen right now, and also if you want, you're more than welcome to subscribe. Thanks for watching.